G'day folks, in this video I'm going to show you how to solve this Tripum Calvin's Puzzle Megaminx ball. It's the 6 colour version. There's a few different versions. There's a limited edition 3 colour version, a couple of them. This 6 colour version and the 12 colour version, which should be coming out soon. And stick around at the end for a mini review on this puzzle as well. Let me get this thing scrambled. Okay, that looks scrambled enough, so let's begin with this one. This is an interesting colour scheme, and as such it has 2 centres which are the same colour next to each other, and that's where we're going to start things off. We're going to start by placing the piece between these, and a reminder that this is a Megaminx in the shape of a sphere. So I'm going to solve it similarly, or the same really, as how I would solve a Megaminx by building up layers. So the first thing I'm going to do is grab the white edge that belongs between the 2 white centres like that and place that there. Now all I'm actually trying to do is solve this face first of all, and then I'm going to call that the bottom face. So as it happens, that edge there is an edge joining to the other white face. I'm going to now be guided with these other edges by the centres here. So for example, this will be a white-red edge that belongs in there. So there it is. So I'll just turn that around, put the edge on and turn it back. The white-green looks like it's down here somewhere. We can turn that one up. What have we got here? Another white-green, so that's in wrongly, so we'll just turn that around and put it in correctly. And then the last one, the white-orange. And there's normally a couple of these things around, so if it seems like they're very close, sometimes they are, and sometimes it's just that there's 2 of them. So yeah, that's all the first face edges done. Now what we're going to do is be guided to put the corners in. These 5 pieces here are corners, and we're going to put them in according to the colours of the centres and the edges that we've got. So as an example here, we've got a white, orange, green. So that tells me that that corner, the white, orange, green, is the correct corner. You can see it's in but twisted, so if that happens, you can just do an up, up, down, down twice, and that will correctly place that corner. Alternatively, you can take it out and then put it back in properly. It's the same thing really. This one here, what do we got? We see here that we've got white, white, and then an orange. So we're looking for a corner that has a large chunky white bit and an orange bit, like that one. So because I'm going to do these in order, I'm just going to take that out and bring it over to the side that I want it. And that one's going there, so it's nearly there. So I turn it so it's just underneath, and I see whether it's oriented correctly. Now if I can tell that by saying, if I turn it up like that, no. Turn it up like that, no. So I just need to change its orientation. To do that, I'm going to move it down here like that. So just to do that again, I'll turn it down on the face it's on, and then bring it down onto the same face by turning a different face. And now that will have changed its orientation. I can turn it back up, and I'll have one way to turn it up correctly. So I can see that that's wrong, but if I do that, it does go correctly. And so that tells me I'll do an up, up, down, down, like that to place that corner. So these 2 corners are now placed. The next one around, we've got the double white with the red. So we're looking for a chunky white and a red. It's over here. So let's get that around to this region. And once again we'll take stock and see if we can put it in correctly, but it looks as though it's the same deal. Neither way is going to place that correctly, so I'll turn it down, off and back up, and this time I can turn it up, up, down, down, and that's placed that one. The next one here, we've got a 3 colour corner, the white, red, green. That's just sitting over here. So bring that around. Now again, we can see that neither of them will turn up correctly. So to get that oriented correctly to turn in, turn it down, off and back up. And now we can see that we'll go up, up, down, down. And that leaves us one last corner. Now at this point we've done what we want to do on the lower face. So I'm going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to use this corner to place these edges here, placing this one last. So for example, I can see that this edge is a green orange edge, which has got to go in here. It's sitting right here. So because I don't want to disturb that corner, I'm just going to turn the one that I haven't done around, and now go ahead and place that edge in. And you'll notice the edge has gone in. The corner that was there has come out and been replaced by another corner, but I don't care about that corner at the moment. And you'll see that when I turn it back, I've protected the corner that I had. So that's the general idea. What do we got here? An orange white. So we'll turn that around and we'll see if we can find an orange white somewhere. There's one over here. So this time when it's lined up that colour with that centre, we can just go down, down, up, up to put it in. And we'll keep going. The next one is a white red. And if that's not nearby, we'll find it. Oh, it's just up here. So I've just got to get that one from the top layer around to where it needs to go. Okay, so now the colour is not matching, so I can turn its position up, put it on, and turn it in. And I'll keep going, and I'll have one more to do here, the red green. This time it's right above. And when I keep turning, what we'll see is we've come right back, and all of these corners and the edges that I've placed are now matching up because I've protected them. So that's good. That just leaves us this edge and this corner. So I'm going to place the edge first, and you can see that it must be the sort of the long green edge, which is here. Now this is one of the interesting things about this colour scheme. Which way does it go in? If I put it in like that, is that correctly oriented? I don't know. And sometimes you find out when you get to the end, you end up with one flipped edge, and we'll make sure we take care of that situation. But in this stage, because I'm doing this last, all I need to do is just put it in however I want, and then look at this corner here. This corner's got to be a white, green, green. So a double green with a little bit of white. Got to locate that one first. It's over here, so I'm going to just turn it around to where it needs to go. Now, I'm going to just move it down there, and I want to have it so it's above this corner opposite. So in other words, the white is up there, directly opposite where it needs to be. Now it's not at the moment, so I'm going to turn it up to the top face, turn it round, and bring it down. Is it yet? Nope. Do it again. Up to the top face, turn it around, bring it down, and this time the white is there. And the reason for that, so I'm now going to carry out 3 edge piece series, or down, down, up, ups. There's one of them. And having done all 3, what you'll notice firstly is that that corner has been placed from there to there, and it's gone in correctly, and the edge has stayed the same. When we do 3 of those things, all the edges remain where they are. So having done that, we've basically now got all of the bottom face plus that layer of edges done. The next stage is to place these corners here. There are 5 of these corners that can just be turned in effectively. So for example, we've got to be guided by the centers now as much as these edges. So we know it's an orange white, and that matches up with the centers, but here's a blue. So we're looking for a blue orange white corner. There it is. So we put it to the top, and now do the same thing, just turn it straight down from the top into the position it's in. Now that won't always go in correctly, and when that happens we'll show you exactly what to do, which will seem very familiar to you. The next one is a white, blue, red corner. Well, here it is. So let's turn it in. Does that match? No, it doesn't. So keep turning, put it back to the top face, turn it around and down again, and this time it's in. The next one is a red, red, green. So we've got the double, like that double red there with a green piece somewhere. It's over here. So I'm going to just need to bring that up to the top and turn it around. And we've done those 2. It's got to go here. Not in yet. So turn it back up. Still not in. Do it again. Guaranteed that the 3rd time it'll go in. So that one's placed. We've got 2 more to do here. This one is a green, green, yellow. So this piece means I can turn it up to the top and keep going until that's correctly oriented, which it is. Now the last one here is a green, orange, orange. This one. Ah, look at that. Turns straight in. That's nice. Okay, now keep in mind that we've done this face as our bottom face. So if you like, this one is the top face. So what have we done? Well, we've actually got all the bottom face, all the edges, and now these corners around here. So the next thing we're going to do is fill in these edges. There are 10 of them, and it's quite simple actually, which is good. It's nice when things are simple. This is the top face. So what we want to do is just start with any of them and look for an edge that's up the top somewhere. For example, this is a blue-red edge. You can see there's a blue-red edge in it, but it's back to front. But there's also one up here that I might as well use. Now what I want to do, if I'm looking at this edge, I'm actually going to turn it up and do a 3 cycle of edges like that. That edge, and that edge. And that means that effectively I'm going to turn this edge up, put the edge here onto it, and turn it back down. 2 things to think about before we do it. The first thing is when I turn that up, you can see that this blue center remains fixed, and so what I want is the blue part of the edge to be up here, because when I turn that down, that's going to match on to the center. Now in our case, we have the red part there. If that happens, you flip this edge by using a down, down, up, up, and as long as you turn that edge last, it'll flip it, and then we can turn it across, and now the blue is where it should be. But the next thing is this. When I do it, at the moment it's going to knock out this corner that I've done. However, you'll notice that the corner next to it up here has not been done, and so as a setup we turn that corner in, and now we can do a 3 cycle of edges to place that edge, and then undo our setup. What that's done is protect that corner, put the edge in, and we're good to go. And we search for the next one. The next one you can see is a red, which is over here, so I might as well get that out if I can, and that requires a red-green. And you can see again we're going up this direction, so I want to put the red-green edge there, and again I note that the green would come down and match with the red, so that's no good. So I'm going to do a 3 cycle of edges, down, down, up, up, to flip my red-green edge. And now when I turn it across, the red will match up correctly. So once again, I'm nearly ready. I've got this one here that I haven't done yet, so I'll turn that down to protect it, carry out the 3 cycle, and then turn it back, and you can see again that's gone in. That's all there is to these edges. I'm going to continue doing them and see you when there's a couple to go. Well, with 2 left, we've got a couple of situations. I realised that I didn't show you one where it was on the left here. I showed both of them on the right, so I'll make sure I do this one. What about this situation here where the yellow-green is in but it's flipped? Well, essentially what we want to do is do the setup and then just take that one out with something else that we don't care about. So we take that edge out and undo the setup, and now we can see that this time this has got to go back into here, but the green is going to come down to that yellow, so this edge needs to be flipped. So we've done that, and now it's set up, and so this time instead of turning this corner down here, we're going to turn this corner down into its position. We can now carry out what we need to, undo that setup, and that should just leave us with 1 to go. All of these are done. You can see moving around here, all of those edges. That's the edge that's not done. It's the double orange, which happens to be here. So we'll take it out, and now we'll go ahead and put it in. So we'll have to place it over there first, turn the corner that we don't want down as a setup, and since it was the double orange, of course we don't know whether that's flipped or not. I guess we'll find out soon enough. Now that leaves us this top face plus these corners and these edges to go. So what we're going to do here is place 4 of these corners. So for example, we can see here we've got orange, orange, blue. So the blue needs to turn down to be at the top. Now there's no way that either of these turns will do that. On the right, I should say. Certainly at the top on the left, but not on the right. So what do we do then? Well, doesn't really matter. We can basically turn it up and across like that, and then down, and that would change the orientation of the piece. And now when we turn it back, you can see that we haven't damaged anything we've already done, but now we can simply turn it down, down, up, up, and that one's in. So that's one of these corners we've got to do. What's this one? White, blue, blue. Is that up the top? It's over here. So let's perhaps do this one if we can. Green, red, yellow. There it is, and we can see that if we turn that piece down like that, it does go in. So it's down, down, up, up. And now that white, blue can come back, and that'll be our third piece in. Now when it's like this and it's opposite, you might remember before, we can just use 3 of our down, down, up, ups. There's one of them. 2. And the third, and that one is in. And that'll be 1, 2, 3. That one's not in. It looks like it is, but that one's in. So we've got one more to do. We've got a red, red, blue, and here it is right above. And so we can see that if we turn it down like that, it's going to be in correct position. So that's 4 of these things done. And that leaves us just with, that one is done of course. It's a little bit confusing here because of the edges aren't done. So you kind of think, hang on, what's going on? But that's what we're going to do now. We've got one of these things left. We're going to use that to help us get the other edges. Alright, so as an example, here is an orange blue. So I want to find an orange blue edge on the top and position it. And because I don't want to disturb this corner, I'm going to use the corner here that I haven't done. And so to place it here, I go down, up, 1, 1. That's all I have to do. Now I can go and turn the edge in, like that. And when I return the corner that I don't care about, what we'll notice is all the stuff that I've done is protected and that new edge is in. And here's the corner that I started with. What if I want to do over here? And that's a blue, blue. Well, the blue, blue edge is right above it, which is good. So to get this corner over, I have to go 1 down, and then 2 around, and then 1 around. So 1, 2, 1. Simple as that. Now I've got a corner I don't care about. I can go ahead and put the edge in, and I can now turn that back. 1, 2, 1. And just having a look around, you can see everything is exactly as it should be. That edge I think is already in, which means we've only got this edge to do, the red, yellow, which is above it. So I'd get this corner around here, 1, 1, into position, and this time turn it up, put the edge on, and turn it down. That edge is in, and I can now place the corner back where it belongs. If I cast my eye around here, you can see it's all looking pretty good. In fact, all of that white part is done, and a lot of the rest of it is. Everything here, apart from the top face, is done, except for this edge and this corner. That's okay, because we're now going to use both of these to help us complete the top face. So we've got an edge here. What we're thinking about is we first want to place the 5 edges that belong on this top yellow face. I'm going to start with the back one, a yellow-blue. Well, I can turn it straight in, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. The next thing, I want to place this other yellow-blue and this yellow-red. So where's the other yellow-blue? There. I can see the other yellow-blue is there. So I know that if I do that edge to that edge to that edge, it will place it. All of this stuff is just edge piece series, 3-1 commutators. Alright, the 2 yellow-blue edges are in. This one is the yellow-red. Now, you can see that it's got a flip. It's sitting here, it's got a flip to get over there. So what I'm going to do is put it down into this sort of, I guess you'd call it an upper equatorial position, because I hadn't done that one yet, so it doesn't matter. And now I can go and put it over here by turning the position, turning the edge up, undoing those moves. What does that leave us with? Well, we've done those 3 edges. We've got 3 edges left. You're going to get a couple of configurations here. One of them would be all the edges are solved. I guess another one would be a 3 cycle of edges. Got an interesting one here, which is great, is that this one is solved, this one is solved, this one is in, but flipped. And normally on a Megaminx that just won't happen. But because of the stickering scheme here, it is perfectly possible. The reason that it happens is this edge is also flipped. We can't see it, but clearly if we flip that edge around, it'll still be solved. So we just need to flip these 2 edges. So to do that, we're going to basically turn, we're going to use the 2 edges and another one, and we turn one of them down onto the one we want to keep, which is this one here. Down, down, up, up. And that'll create a 3 cycle where we now turn, we want to get this edge back into here by turning its position across and turning it up into its position. That's flipped that edge. What it's also done in the process is flipped this edge here. That was out. And you'll see that it's left this one completely intact. Okay, so that's as hard as it gets for the edges at the end. All the edges are done. It's now just these top corners and this corner here. So I'm going to look and see what I've got. I've got a yellow-red corner sitting here which needs to go in that position. And I think that if I turn that around like this, I'd like to get the red to there. Now what I need to do is just do an up, up, down, down from either side until that is correctly placed. Up, up, down, down. Not yet. Keep going. Okay, now you can see now that that is matched up nicely. If we turn that back like so, what we'll see is that in this case we've actually got here the corners have been swapped. We've got the edges are still intact. Now all of this is going to look as a bit of a muddle until we finish it, but that's fine. So we continue doing that. We're always doing up, up, down, down, never down, down, up, up. So the next thing we've got a yellow blue. Where does that belong? Well, that belongs over in that position. So I'm going to turn its position to the front and turn it up until I've got that correctly done. Alright, that one's in. Turn it back to where it belongs. That's in, that's in. What's here now? Yellow, orange, green. Yellow, orange, green is actually that one here. So we're not interested in that. We want to place perhaps this one, which is the yellow, blue, red. So let's grab that yellow, blue, red, turn it to the front and take it out. Okay, that puts it down here. Now just place things back to check where everything is. The yellow, blue, red belongs on that position. So I'm going to turn that position around and now turn it up until this thing is placed. Now I must point out every single one of these so far has had 3 up, up, down, downs to get it. That's not always the case. It's just coincidence on this occasion. Alright, that one's placed. You can see it's starting to look very nice indeed. We've then got this one. What's this? Yellow, blue, orange, which happens to be here. So let's put this one down. Okay, now we'll turn its position and see if we can place the yellow, blue, orange. We can do it with one of them this time. That's done. Turn that back. All of these 4 are done now. So that'll leave us these 2 left. Now we've just got to keep doing up, up, down, down until these bottom edges and corners come back correctly. There is one of them. You can see that no, it's not good yet, so we keep going. That is good, and you can see everything down here has come back, and in fact also these 2 corners that were not quite right have also come back, and in this case everything is being dealt with. But of course that's not always what could happen. We could end up with a couple of twisted corners. Let's have a look at that now. Okay, well here what we can see is that all the edges have come back, but these 2 corners are now twisted. Now if that happens, everything else is right. So what we want to do is just hold it so that one of them is at the bottom, and we're going to consider these four. Just got to think about which way do we want this to rotate. Well, it's got to rotate that way so the orange comes up to here. So to make it rotate that way, we're going to turn this face like that, not this face. Now when we do that, this piece down here, which is the other one, is not going to be affected. So what we're going to do is twist this piece first, then when that's twisted, bring that one into the equation and then untwist. Here we go. To twist this piece, we want to do 2 down, down, up, ups. 1, 2. You can see that has been twisted. You can see a lot of other stuff is out. So what we do now is turn the other corner into its position and do the opposite twist. So instead of turning the right face down first to the opposite twist, we turn the left face down first. There we go. And now we unturn that, and you can see that it's as simple as that. All of those corners, or both those corners, have been twisted, and in fact this tripod Megaminx ball has been solved. Beautiful, isn't it? Well, the mini review. Let me say this is one of the best puzzles I think I've ever purchased. Absolutely worth the money, without any shadow of a doubt. I've even managed to get the Calvin's puzzle and the tripum on one on top of the other, which is great. Now, I did an unboxing of this and it looked fantastic in the unboxing, and I've solved this a number of times now, and my opinion of it really has only gotten better. There are still the issues that I talked about in the unboxing, which is very, very slight, and on some stickers, I don't even know if it's on this one, some of them just sort of bunched a little bit. Some of these long stickers, they just weren't stuck down properly at the beginning or at the factory. But these ones actually look okay. I can't see any like that on here. The only other negative is that occasionally you've got this sort of thing where the sticker is not exactly lined up. Now, between you and me, I don't really think that's any kind of issue at all, but I'm just trying to give a fair review here. This puzzle turns wonderfully. You could see it as I was solving it, and there really are no lockups. And even when you start doing stuff like this, if you're not aligned when you try and turn it, if you're not exactly aligned like that, it'll still turn, no problem. So that's a great thing. When you're trying to, do it reasonably fast, there should be no problems with that. The stickers haven't worn at all, and I have solved it a number of times. I don't expect them to. It is a thing of beauty. It really is. It feels quality. It reeks quality, which is really good, because I think that sometimes in the past Calvin's puzzle have not necessarily produced 100% quality stuff. This definitely is, and I'm extremely pleased to be able to say that. And if you hear that, that's just the wind outside. Please ignore that. So this is a fantastic puzzle. This is one of those things that I'd consider a just right puzzle. You might say, why? Well, it's just a Megaminx, isn't it? Well, sure, it's a Megaminx, but a Hexaminx is a Megaminx too. But they are quite a bit more challenging than a normal Megaminx. And this is the same sort of thing. I think this is a great colour scheme, and it's growing on me for sure. I think I probably still like the 12 colour, but I may find the 12 colour is not as interesting as this 6 colour version. So, wonderful puzzle. To me, it's a very good value for money. It's a must-have for any collection, and I would recommend that if you haven't bought it yet and you've got some money, go ahead and buy it. Obviously, as always, I'll leave the links in the description. I hope this has been an enjoyable video. Hope you've liked it. If you do, click like, and thanks for watching.